Go ahead, Alexander, you're going to start?
Yes. So good afternoon and good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Q&A session for Challenge 4 with NXP. It's really great that they're here with us. We have a wealth of knowledge and it's looking like a really interesting challenge. So I'm really looking forward to they've got a quick presentation, and then afterwards we can open it up for Q&A. There's not loads of students at the moment, but hopefully we can some more will join quickly. With that said, over to you. Yeah, looking forward to hearing a little bit more about the challenge.
Okay. Thank you, Alexander. Let me start introducing by myself. I am Prasada with Philips NXP for more than last 20 years plus, working in mainly in the IC design, and last 3-4 years predominantly working on the hardware security. So in that capacity, we are running this challenge. And then I let my colleagues to introduce.
Okay. Thank you, Prasada. So myself, Prem Kumar. I have industry experience of 18 years. I'm right now working in the security domain. So majorly into site security and the product security. So this majorly deals with the common criteria certifications, which is ISO 15408. So we deal with the site security audits complying to the common criteria, and also the product certifications dealing with the requirements which are coming from the customers. Over to you, Arun.
Thank you, Prem. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening. My name is Arun Jain. I've been in the semiconductor industry for about 17 years now. 12 years with Freescale NXP, and then previously I was with NVIDIA. I'm working as a product security architect for one of the product line of NXP. My job is defining the latest, greatest security countermeasures to prevent the hacking of the NXP solutions. And this is all about me briefly. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Prem, Arun, for introduction. Let me start. Okay, so this is the topics we are going to discuss. I'll start with NXP introduction, then my colleague Prem get into the challenge description, and then Q&A. We all three will join. And the NXP introduction, probably first 10 minutes I'll cover. I know that actually the last Friday, some of you might have joined Arun's presentation on system and hardware security from NXP. Probably some of the slides might have repetitive, but nevertheless, we'll try to keep you engaging. Okay. And then coming to this slide, you can see basically anybody who knows NXP, we really want them to know NXP by its products. And as you see in the slide, NXP predominantly supplies semiconductors and also sometimes software into these 4 major marketing or end markets. One is the automotive, which is the biggest revenue earner for us, and then industrial and IoT, the second one, and then mobile. The last one is communication infrastructure. So these are the 4 major businesses where NXP serves these end markets and deliver multiple products to multiple customers. I hope some of you might have come across one or the other way through the NXP product in these end markets. Okay. So we'll talk about more about what NXP does into these respective business lines. And a bit about NXP, most of you know, or maybe if not, NXP is basically a spin-off from the Dutch company Philips Electronics, and then combined with Freescale in 2015. And so you can see we are about 60 plus years of history, and then 33,000 employees, and out of that 1/3 of them will be R&D engineers. Rest are into assembly, test, manufacturing, and all. We'll come to know those details. And NXP is a true global company present in 30 plus countries. And last year, we made revenue of 12.61 billion. This is all about NXP, but nevertheless, if you see, we have about 9,500 patent families. So that's all about NXP. How does we focus on the innovation to serve the customers and our deliver our end products. Okay. And then where NXP present, as you know, there are two things. One is, of course, NXP R&D. India is one of the biggest R&D center for NXP, where we are located in Bangalore, Noida, Pune, Hyderabad, and of course across the globe, Europe, US, and of course in South America, many places. And in this slide, I'm going to give where NXP manufacturing and assembly houses present. You can see the yellow tagged ones are the either assembly test house in mostly in the Asia Pacific region. And then you can see the blue color one, NXP has multiple fabs, SSMC, VSMC, and you can see fabs in US and Europe. So NXP is again a truly end-to-end company. It's not just a R&D. We have all the way R&D to manufacturing, front and back end, test assembly, and to deliver the end product. Okay, then what NXP does. So, you know, today industry challenges, we are really going through the ecosystem shifts. As I already shown you, NXP is there very much a dominant player in automotive. And you know how much change we are observing over the last decade and towards the next decade. And automotive segment is moving. It's getting more and more into electronics, electrical, and all. So NXP is very much part of that change, that evolution. When the current automotive is getting into electrified, whether we call it as an EV trend, or take it forward to the next one, autonomous vehicles. Okay. So that's where NXP plays critical role. That is one of the challenge we are addressing. And then systems. So it's not about ICs. NXP is really focused on the end systems. We closely work hand in hand with customers in various end markets and try to come up with the system solutions and then software solutions also on top of our hardware. And of course, NXP is committed to the sustainability. Okay, and you can see on the right hand side, so NXP portfolio, again, ranging from sensing to processing to actuation, all the way to connectivity solutions. In the later slides, we see how these four verticals make NXP really addressing all the way from sensing to processing to actuation to connectivity. And on top of it, on a horizontal technologies like NXP is a leader in security. NXP known for making security products since multiple decades. Whether you take mobile payments or secure ID or credit card, debit cards, everywhere NXP you can find out. And then functional safety, which is very relevant for automotive, which is one of the main feature. And then automotive and industrial IoT. And then yeah, you can see beyond that, we are also hybrid manufacturing. As you see, we have fabs. Some of them, of our products go into our own fabs, and some of them will go to third-party fabs. And we will become carbon neutral where we are manufacturing our products. And then on the other side, we are trying to make everything, whatever we do, simplified through scalable systems, and then both software, hardware integrated. And we are working closely with the OEMs to define the system solutions for them. Okay. And then, as I said, here you can see these are the key functions like sense, think, connect, act, and horizontal technologies like safety, security, and then scalable system solutions. And with these verticals, we are trying to address automotive end market, industrial, and IoT. If you go further down, you can see in automotive, software-defined vehicles, ADAS, electrification, and then on the down, you can see factory automation, building and home automation, or smart homes, healthcare, power, and energy. And then these are the products. Again, if you see some of the under the sense, you can see we have radar, a vision, and face and gesture recognition, voice recognition, anomaly detection, motion, speed, pressure sensors, and then broadcast reception. These are the sensing. And on the processing side, think we have scalable, secure platforms, computing platforms based on our S32 platform. And these are all automotive safety certified like SLD. And we have a multiple processor families, IDCSS series for high performance graphics, and then Layerscape and RT for sort of crossover performing MCUs, and then on the lower one, particularly the low power, where IoT applications need extremely low power processing or simplified and low cost versions. That's where we have kinetics and LPC. And the connectivity side, I don't go through all of them, but you can see we are part of multiple consortiums, and whether it is Matter on the smart home side, or MyFair, or 5G on the communication infrastructure, eSIM, embedded SIM on the mobile side, and so on and so forth. And on the ACT, power management, battery management, high-speed interfaces, in-vehicle networking, we have automotive Ethernet, we have CAN-LIN, lot of technologies. So that's where NXP has multiple customers and products into multiple product areas. Sorry. And as I said, automotive, I'll skip this slide, quickly go into why I said automotive is the biggest revenue earner for NXP, and biggest market share also as a semiconductor company for NXP. We do automotive processors, and then auto application processors. I mean, you can see here NXP is number one in these segments: auto RF, auto signal processing, and then cross-domain processors. And then on the application side, end applications, car radio, secure car access, and then in-vehicle networking. These are areas where NXP is a truly market leader in automotive semiconductor segment. And then quickly going into the IoT, again, here we have a broad scalable platform portfolio. And here our main focus is on the edge computing. And then so yeah, innovating on the edge to cloud. At the cloud you have very big processing and other stuff, but on the edge it's a different ball game. So NXP is really targeting and addressing a lot of edge computing products. And then you can see here again, ultra low power, high performing processors, and then low power secure connected MCUs. And again, connectivity wise, we have UWB, Wi-Fi, NFC, RFID, Bluetooth, and then common software ecosystem. And as you read here, deep application insights, we are working and supporting 26,000 plus customers. So small to big, this many customers, that is a truly unique to NXP, where we are working with multiple customers across the globe, across the spectrums, across the applications. And then on the IoT side, again, this is a little bit take you down to the various technologies, various connectivity solutions, what we have, which we gone through. I don't go again everything, but you can see the security, safety, power conversion, and then connectivity solutions, networking, low power, and on the AML side also you can find out. And the product range, if you can see, all the way from low-end MCU microcontrollers to crossover MCUs to MPUs, application processors. NXP deliver multiple products in this space. And then mobile, I didn't have, I mean, didn't go much, but on the mobile side, NXP is market leader in UWB, fine ranging, NFC, secure element. Wherever you see mobile payments or credit card, debit card, you can find our embedded SIM. One or the other have NXP solutions, particularly in the applications like payment, transit, access identification. Not only in the mobile, but on the wearable side also. And on the government side, for example, the passports, e-passports, secure ID cards, and public transit operators, whether it is metros or multiple transit solutions. And then last but not least is the communication infrastructure. Here again, we mainly focus on the mobile RF communication solutions. Okay. So we have a lot of high power solutions in this space because this is a power game where you need to have a huge RF output power for these devices, transistors, and multiple things which are made in gallium nitride, gallium arsenide, silicon, germanium. These are all technologies are there very much with NXP. And this is my last slide. As you see, our purpose, bringing together bright minds. I think that is the spirit for NXP or philosophy. We want to have a bright talent to work together, find very innovative solutions to serve our customers and through the latest technologies and in automotive, edge computing, mobile, and as I said, communication infrastructure. Yeah, so I think with this, I'm covered all the NXP introduction. In fact, it took more time than we planned, but thank you very much. I hope it's useful information for you to know what is NXP and what they will do and all those things. Thank you very much, Prem. I think you can take over from here.
Yeah, thank you, Prasada, for giving the brief introduction about NXP. So before we dive into the question answer round, I believe it's very important that we understand what the challenge is all about. Maybe when I'm describing this challenge, by default, I'm answering some of your questions. That's the whole intent. Okay, Prasada, can we go to the next slide, please? Okay, so what was the challenge all about? So to give an introduction, so if you're talking about smart cities which use IoT and interconnected systems to enhance urban life, we get a lot of benefits out of it, right? So we can include optimized traffic, utilities, public safety. But however, digital transformation, whenever we are talking about smart cities and IoTs and stuff like that, there is a chance that we are prone to cyber vulnerabilities. There are going to be attacks, and these are all attacks which we need to prevent, right? So the attacks can disrupt the services, they can threaten the safety, and they can, the whole ecosystem can be hampered. So that's the challenge idea was around smart cities. Next slide, please. Okay. So I've given a just hypothetical name of a city like Albania. So if we think that we have a city like Albania and we have, a smart traffic and water system deployed there, it's a smart city which we want to develop, then what could be an attack scenario and how can we prevent it? So the coordinated cyber attack, let's suppose we have the smart city up and running, we have a smart traffic, we have the water systems deployed, which are all IoT and AI based. All of a sudden, we came to know that a coordinated cyber attack has caused traffic gridlock. The water pressure the manipulated water pressure has caused chaos to the service provided to the public, and the public even does not know, is it a cyber attack or is it something else, right? So what are the mechanisms or this is the whole challenge. What is the mechanism which you as a provider or you as the person who is implementing this smart city project, how can you prevent this? Or even if it happened, let's suppose it happened, How are you going to deal with this? That's the challenge all about. And now what is the expectation from the challenge is described in the next upcoming slide. So what we as NXP want from you when you are trying to, solve this challenge. So as a participant, you must first identify vulnerabilities in smart city infrastructure. You should propose a layered defense strategy, and you should recommend incident response and public communication plans. As expected, you need to create a 3-minute video presenting your solution. Now, your solution should be based on 4 major pillars. That is, first, vulnerability mapping. Second is defense strategy. Third is incident response. And then how you're going to maintain the resilience and trust. Since I have a background of security, and as I told you in the introduction, that I am taking care of the product certifications as well as site certifications. So when we deal with product certifications, I'm going to give you some hints how you're going to approach this challenge. Whenever you need to protect a product or a TOE, the definition of TOE is target of evaluation. That means it can be a subset of a product, it can be a superset in itself. The first thing you need to know is what are the assets you need to protect, right? So in this challenge, first you need to give a thought. What is the asset which I need to protect? Second comes the threats. What are the threats which will be acting as, I mean, when you have an asset, like for example, if you are, let's take a live example. You have some gold or you have some cash at home. That's your asset, which you won't, you would like to protect, which you won't think won't, keep it open in public. That if a guest comes at your home, you won't display it, right? So it would be locked inside an almirah or your lockers, right? So the first thing which you need to protect is the assets. For example, here the example I gave you is cash or gold. The second thing is threat. What is a threat if for that particular asset? It can be an external threat, that is a theft from outside. It can also be a internal threat from inside. You have to look from all angles. Third, once you have identified the asset, once you have identified the threat, the third thing is you need to now think of an objective, how you are going to protect that asset from all those threats. And also, please do include assumptions. In security, when we talk of common criteria terminology, we do not just stick ourselves to only threats. We also keep assumptions open. So that's why assets are first defined, then we have threats and assumptions, and the third is the objective definition. You need to have some objectives so that you can have secure functional requirements which will meet these objectives so as to protect those assets. In the same way, you need to have create this 3-minute video, keeping in mind you have a smart city where you have a traffic and a water management system, and now there's a cyber attack which has happened, and you have to make a video or think out of the box that how you're going to cover vulnerability mapping, defense strategy, incident response, and resilience. You might have noticed that the answer lies in the presentation of our objective itself, where we 3 of us have tried to give some kind of pointers to you so that you can easily understand what the expectations are, right? Like, for example, under vulnerability mapping, we have written specifically that we are looking for some attack surfaces, right? You have to identify some entry points where you need to protect something. Okay, so I will not go into deep because I leave it up to you. Every person thinks differently. We all would like to have some innovative thoughts coming from your end. That's a whole challenge all about. So I believe, yeah, we are short of time now, so we can start with a Q&A round if you do not have any further questions on the slide being showed.
Amazing. I see that there are some questions in the Q&A. I'm not sure if you can see them yourself as well.
Okay.
There's already a couple of questions, and I think you've kind of half answered a couple of them. So, but maybe they can be expanded upon. Are you able to see them, or should I read them out?
It's being loaded. It's getting loaded at my end. Yeah, I can see it now.
Amazing, amazing.
Is it visible at your end, Prasada and Arun?
Yes.
Okay.
So maybe we can look at the first question. Should our challenge answers be made using only NXP solutions? I'm guessing kind of like when you were going through the presentation on all of the NXP kind of what you all do. Should the challenge answers be focused on these limitations, or can
No, so it's a good question, which might be a common question for a lot of people. So the participants. So yeah, you do not need to restrict your solutions to the NXP solutions. You can be open. You can think out of the box. You should be innovative enough to think out of the box. Don't limit yourself to NXP. Okay. I hope that answers your question.
Hopefully. And I think creativity is always appreciated with these things. Yeah, so then we have a question which is maybe a little bit about the kind of the situation that you have made. And hopefully, I don't know if this is if there is an answer, but they ask, how large or how developed is the city of Albania? How much can we assume about the city and its abilities or its infrastructure? And what about its city budget? So, because I guess all of these things will impact, of course, what the solutions can or should be.
Yes, again, an interesting question, because when we talk about smart cities, it does not limit to traffic control and the water management system. There are a whole lot of technologies and IoTs, which are IoT devices coming into picture. So yes, the question is valid, but I mean, I would let Prasada and also Arun also to speak after I give my suggestion. I believe that the challenge is talking about traffic control and water management. So maybe you can stick yourself to the solution regarding these two topics, because if you try to diversify or increase the scope, then maybe the solutions will vary. So your main topic should be relative smart city, should be traffic control and the water management. Prasada, would you like to add something here?
Yeah, definitely. I think I really like that question, because security is nothing absolute in the world of security. Yes. So everything is relative. One is, of course, the scale of the city. You can take some assumption, definitely, or you can easily take reference to some of the big cities of either India or Netherlands today, and you can come up with that one. But you can already, I think Prem mentioned the assumptions, okay, and what assumptions you are taking, all those things will be part of the challenge. You can really put up those assumptions, and then based on that, you propose the solution. That will be nice, yeah.
So the city budget is not a problem. Think that your government is going to pour a lot of money. So you just think about the solution, money will be taken care of. Arun, do you have something to add here?
Yeah, just a one-liner that we are looking for the creativity and innovation to the for the solution. So, you need to put up your assumptions, which which may be reasonable as per the problem statement, and then put your thinking hat onto it. So it's more about the creativity and innovation that we would like to see. If you need to make any assumptions, feel free to make assumption and move on.
All right.
I think one thing that I've kind of seen from previous challenges as well, which is probably good to add and confirm if you think the same. I think often with these challenges, we are looking for depth. So it is probably better to, if you have a solution, really go into the details of it rather than trying to propose, 20 different solutions in your 3-minute video. Focus on one or two solutions, but really go into the details of it. Why does it work? How does it work? Rather than mentioning everything you can think of.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You nailed it, Alex. So the point is, I mean, there are two ways of putting your, thoughts. First, a person can put the thought in a theoretical perspective, and it could be a lengthy, a big summary. But the other person might, just hit the nail and just one liner is enough. So what Alex is trying to emphasize here, and what we would also like to have, is that your solution should have some kind of a concrete, some kind of concrete answer to it. Like, it should not be theoretical. You should have something like it. Let me give you a hint, which is already mentioned in the challenge itself. When you're talking about communication, how are you going to protect that communication should be in your answer. It should not be like, okay, yeah, the challenge says that the traffic, there is a cyber attack. Your answer should not just say, okay, we are going to protect the communication of the traffic channel. We would be interested to know, how are you going to put that communication traffic, I mean, that secure? Maybe that will add an added advantage to your solution, right? So again, thinking on those lines, precise solutions will give you an added advantage.
Amazing. So
I think just to add, the real investment is also time what you have. In 3 minutes, how best you come up with more than dollars or
Yes,
euros or rupees. I think it's the time how efficiently you use with the solution.
yes, absolutely.
definitely. So we have a question from Koshar Kumar. Any data privacy limitations? I guess in the solutions, we've had a lot of lectures during the cyber school all about data privacy. So maybe this question comes from there. What limitations? What should the students look for? I think every project like this has its limitations. So maybe to put it as a wider question.
Uh, well, the question is not that clear to me. Is it related to the location-wise data privacy which you're looking for? Because in some countries we have GDPR, in some countries we do not have, we have something else. So is it related to that point, that what they are looking for?
I guess so. I mean, I guess you do not mention where the city of Albania is. So, if maybe they assume the city is in the Netherlands, then of course you do have to deal with GDPR.
Yeah.
But of course, in other places it would not be. So maybe there's almost an answer there in itself. It depends on where, on the context of your answer.
Right.
But yeah.
Yes. So the question is good then. Then, yeah, it's just an example. You don't need to take Albania as the example. If you're thinking that Albania is in India, then you can, think of the local laws and regulations. And if you're thinking that it's in US or it's in Netherlands, then yeah, feel free to, have that localized version here.
Yeah, no, Kaushal is just confirmed like the legislation of the city. So I think yes,
Yes.
a little bit what we are saying.
Yes.
We have a fun question here. Are we allowed to use AI in the video? So
I
this
was
is
expecting this question.
Yes.
This is an interesting question, and I'm going to give you an interesting answer. AI, the word AI means artificial intelligence. Here, we want you to use your real intelligence. That means your brain, not the artificial one. But yes, why not use artificial intelligence? The whole concept is based on artificial intelligence, right? But I would like to give you an example by summarizing this answer. Let's suppose you have been given a task to create an artificial flower, which should resemble a real flower. Let's suppose a rose. Okay, if you are if you have been asked to do that, okay, you might be successful in creating that artificial flower, which looks absolutely 100% look-alike of a real flower. But are you sure it is going to have the same scent like a real flower? Absolutely not. So, okay, fine. We are not limiting yourself, you guys, that you cannot use artificial intelligence, but of course it should have your own real intelligence flavor, where it will, that will be the demark, that will be the thing which will be making your solution, more, what do you say, stand out, because that will have your own flavor. Because anything, there's so much data available in artificial in the world, right? When you will pitch this question or this challenge, it might give you some answer which is generic. But we as industry experts, Prasad, as you know, is having an experience of more than 20 years. Arun is having experience of 17 years. I am having experience of 18 years. So we as NXP, we are having our own solutions. We are learning every day. So when we are reading the answers from the artificial intelligence perspective, we know that, okay, yes, this is correct. But when you are adding your own flavor, we know that, yes, this is something different. So what I would recommend is, you can make use of artificial intelligence, but give a flavor of your own real intelligence, which will make you stand apart. I hope, Prasada, that's the deal which we are looking for, right?
That's right. I think AI, assuming in this community, everybody has access to that, so information common. But we are looking for unique and innovative solutions. Okay, that's the bottom line.
And I think how I've always been taught is, AI can never be innovative. If you think of, when you use ChatGPT, what is it doing? It's taking information that is already on the internet. So by definition, it almost cannot create something new. So if they are asking you to innovate, yeah, you cannot really use this. So we have a question which is maybe a bit more of a general one on so I do not know how much we can really help with this. They're asking, since this is a group project, how can we work together effectively and coordinate with each other? And before I kind of hand it over, maybe you at NXP, you have a good way of doing teamwork together. But we have, like, kind of on our side in organizing the challenges, we have kept this a little bit open. Because how we see it for on HCSS is that, this is also part of the learning process. Is we've made quite large groups, 10 people, and there's the overwhelming chance that you do not know anybody else in this group. So this is almost part of the challenge itself as well, is to create contact with each other, whether that is over WhatsApp or just over email, or in the past students have used Discord as well. Doesn't really matter. But it's creating that contact and learning how to work with each other. You probably have different expertise as well. Some people may be more technical, some people are more on the policy side or the legal side, and to work with each other's and with each other's jargon as well. And so, like, this is almost part of the challenge. But I don't know if you want to expand upon this as well.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you covered it right. So the point here is, whenever you're working in a group, whether it's a challenge or whether we are working in a company where you have to bring a solution in, and you are working in a team, right? So the first thing is, we do a brainstorming session, right? So we have to have the listening skill. So once you are doing the brainstorming, hear each person out, right? Every person can bring something new to the table. So first thing is, hear everyone out. Second thing is, do the brainstorming on the topics or on the ideas which most of the majority like. Third is coming together to formulate that solution. So in a group, maybe 2 or 3 people can say that, okay, I'll work on this aspect. The second person can say, okay, in the solution, we have 4 different pillars. I'll work on the second pillar. 3 other people will work on the third pillar, and the fourth pillar. Okay. And then when you come together, you can say, okay, this is how what we have defined. And then sometimes you have to adjust. I'm not saying that it will work like that. So silos will not work. You have to always collaborate. So the steps will be like, first, listen your peers out. Second, brainstorm. Third, try to try to have some individual milestones, try to have that solution, and then try to collate. And if you need some fine tuning or readjustments, maybe you need to rework on those. And then try to have a collaborative approach, because if half of your team does not agree the solution which you're proposing, you have already failed that challenge, right? So you all have to come up collaboratively and just pat each other's back that, yes, this is what we think is the best which we could give. And I think that will be the done deal then.
Amazing. Great. So we have two questions which I think are a little bit maybe similar. So I might ask them together just because I realize we only have around 10 minutes left. So one student is asking if you suggest any resources they can use to start their research. And the other one is asking if they can base their answers on what other smart cities have already done, I guess in real life. So they are referencing cities like Shanghai, who they say also already have these traffic management systems. So I guess kind of like in the sense of like, what kind of inspiration do you suggest the students begin with?
Arun, would you like to take that up?
Okay.
Or Prasada,
So I think
any one of you?
Yeah. So I think from a resource perspective, one of the things that I can suggest to you is the list of NXP products. We develop a lot of products in this area, and applications are developed by our customers, and systems are provided by us. So you can look that aspect and see, how they help in the context of the smart city. That's part one. Part two is that whether you can copy from existing solutions. So I think we made it clear that we are looking for creativity. We are looking for comprehensiveness of the solution. We are looking for your clarity in the thoughts. We are looking for practicality of the solution. So you need to look out from these dimensions and then provide your solution. That's what I can say for this. Yes.
Yeah. No, I think that's clear.
Okay.
I mean, like, yeah, I think for the students, it's just make sure you're not just simply copying something that has already been done. I don't think the challenge is looking for something completely groundbreaking. This is not PhD research.
Yeah.
But it's the idea of something something out of the box, something creative. Are there any? I don't think there's any other questions. You can also put your hands up. Of course, you do not have to like type it out. We have a couple of minutes left. What I might do just while we wait for another question, I might just give some bit technical information about completing the challenge. So we've talked about the 3-minute video, and this is one thing we are very strict about. It has to be maximum 3 minutes. And this is just a purely technical thing on our side. If you have a minute of 3 minutes, 1 second, even though, of course, in the grand scheme of things, it's only 1 more second, we cannot accept it. This is just to keep things fair. So, really keep it to 3 minutes maximum. If it's 2 minutes, 55 seconds, that's okay. It can be under 3 minutes, that's okay. But exactly 3 minutes maximum. And we are very strict about this. The other thing about actually submitting, of course, the deadline is the 5th of November. So you still have 1 or 2 weeks to complete this. So plenty of time. And in terms of where do you send the video, you send it to our email, not to the email of NXP. It will probably be lost somewhere and you will not get a reply. If you send it to info@NXP, I do not think they would know what to do with it. No, so send it to the cyber school email, the same one that you have gotten already the emails from about the challenge. I think it is, if I remember correctly, cyberschool@hcss.nl. So send it to us. In terms of how to send it, make sure it is accessible. We try our best to kind of be a bit easy about things, but sometimes we've had in the past, problems where we cannot download it. So it's usually best to send it, via WeTransfer or some type of shared drive, anything like this. This is useful. And yes, I see it in the chat. I will type it out in a second, and then you can all copy it and save it somewhere. I think that is all of the important information that I can think of at the moment. Are there any last questions? Give maybe a minute if anybody needs to type it out.
Yeah, just one suggestion I want to give is, that Alexander mentioned it's exactly 3 minutes. Okay. So please be prepared to converge all your thoughts, whatever you do. What at the end of the day, we see only those 3 minutes. Okay. I think that itself is a big challenge, how quickly you can collaborate and finalize that one. And in the beginning, you asked about the scale, budget, and assumptions. At least be careful that there you cannot take too many examples or too many things, resources, other things. It has to be very close. And what we see is the really innovative within that 3 minutes, what innovative solution you present, even if it is a one problem versus one solution, which should be very unique and innovative. Okay. Like Prem already mentioned, we don't want to compromise with a very high dry statements. Okay, this can be done, this can be done like that, but please be aware that we really look for smartness. Okay.
I think that answers to one of the questions, like somebody asked, what is a rubric for this criteria, right? So I think that sums up that this is what we are looking for.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think, of course, creativity in how you present. You want to be as efficient as possible, which is also a good skill, I think, in the workplace. You will often be asked, to very quickly give a lot of information. So this is definitely somewhere where you can, train this skill. I'm not amazing at it yet, either myself. I always write very long emails and everything, but a good skill to learn. I think this might then be the end of the questions. I don't think we have any more. Do you have any last words of advice, last words of encouragement before we finish today?
I think the only thing which I want to say before I give my colleagues the chance to say the last words is that if you have any further questions, I think don't hesitate. You can still reach out. Maybe Alex, what is the medium of them to ask the questions if somebody was not able to attend today's session? What is the medium?
Yes. So if you have questions, again, email the same email, cyberschool@hcss.nl. It's in the chat, but you can find it on our website as well, the IDCSS website. If you have any questions, then we can forward them to NXP. So that we make sure that the right people get it, and it can be about anything. So we can help you there.
Okay, then all the best from my side. May the best team win.
You and yes, Prem, we wish you all the best for all these innovative, brighter minds. Okay, that's the NXP. We are really looking forward to see very bright ideas. And I hope you will really surprise us with innovative ideas. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for participating in this challenge. And trust me, this is not just a challenge to be solved for this cybersecurity school, but this is a real world challenge which needs to be addressed by many smart cities. In India and Europe, everywhere in the world. So what you are going to think will be a future solution for many of the product companies, and that will probably seed some of the ideas for your startup. So, feel free to put your thinking caps and, provide innovative solutions and create a new world for all of us. Thank you.
Amazing. I think this is a great way to end it. It's so this challenge, even though it's the city is maybe a made-up one, the solutions might be used in real life. So that's, I think, quite inspiring. So thank you all very much. This will also be put on our YouTube. So if you want to look back at anything, you can, probably in the next day or two. Good luck with the challenge and have fun with it as well. I think that's also important. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Thank you, everyone.
Bye, take care.
Thank you. Bye.